We live from New Delhi, watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next 30 minutes. The Public Examinations Prevention of Unfair Means Amendment Bill 2026 to be discussed in Lower House of Parliament today. The focus on stricter punishments and faster prosecution. Thousands march in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir over governance and electoral reforms. Protests coincide with Legislative Assembly elections. Reports of violence and poll rigging in first phase. France and Spain race to contain apocalyptic fires before new heat wave threatens to complicate firefighting efforts. President Macron says week ahead will be tough. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu will meet US President Trump in Washington on Tuesday, says Iran is top agenda. Well, on to the details now. The National Democratic Alliance Parliamentary Party held the Mangal Milan meeting in Parliament Complex on Tuesday. Senior leaders of NDA, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi, were present at the meeting. Members of the newly formed Nationalist Citizens Party of India, NCPI, also attended the weekly meet for the first time. Now, the meetings are traditionally held on Tuesdays during Parliament sessions with an aim to demonstrate complete alliance unity. The meeting last took place on the July 21st when Prime Minister Narendra Modi had called for coordinated efforts by all stakeholders to prevent paper leaks in future examinations across the country. The Prime Minister had also reiterated the government's commitment to ensuring strict action against those involved in recent NEET examination paper leaks and safeguarding the interest of the country's youth. And some updates from Parliament now. Pandemonium continued to rock the proceedings of the Parliament on the 7th day as both houses stand adjourned till 2 p.m. When the Lok Sabha began its proceedings at 11 a.m., Speaker Om Birla congratulated para-athlete Sharmila Thankar on winning gold medal at the 23rd Commonwealth Games. The Speaker also congratulated all the athletes who have brought honor and pride to the country, as well as to coaches and their family members. Later, when the Speaker tried to take up question hour, the opposition members started sloganeering over the alleged police action against the students during the protest. Before adjourning the House, Speaker of the Lower House, Om Birla, urged members to allow the House to function and build a consensus for taking up the discussions on the Public Examination Prevention of Unfair Means Amendment Bill 2026 at 2 p.m., saying there had been an understanding among parties on the matter. He appealed for constructive debate and said Parliament should send a positive message to the country through the dialogue. The Upper House also stands adjourned till 2 p.m. over the same issue. When the House assembled at 11 a.m., several union ministers laid the paper on the table of the House. The report of the department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution was also presented. When Chairman C.P. Radhakrishnan took up 0 hour, the members of the opposition started sloganeering over alleged police action during students' protest over the paper leak issue. As the pandemonium continued, the chairman adjourned the House till 2 p.m. And India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri held a series of high-level meetings in China aimed at advancing India-China relations. During his visit, the Indian Foreign Secretary met Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs of China, Hua Chunying. They reviewed the entire gamut of bilateral relations and also discussed means of advancing the vision of the two leaders that India and China are partners and development opportunities for each other, including through mutually beneficial outcomes across trade and economic ties, culture and people-to-people exchanges. Both sides acknowledged the importance of maintaining peace and tranquility in the India-China border areas. Early on Monday, Misri also met Deputy Secretary General of the 14th National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, Hong Liang. During the meeting, both sides explored ways to enhance political engagement and strengthen people-to-people exchanges as well. And some weather updates from India now. The Indian Meteorological Department has issued red and heavy rainfall alerts for Odisha and Chhattisgarh due to a deep depression over the Bay of Bengal. The system is causing intense monsoon showers, gusty winds, and a high risk of localized flooding across the region. School closures have been ordered in vulnerable districts and maritime operations, ports put under local cautionary signals. Further, total suspension of fishing into the sea along and off the Odisha, West Bengal, North Andhra Pradesh coast has also been ordered. While in the northeast state of Assam, the flood situation has shown further signs of improvement, but the crisis is far from over, with over 445,000 people still affected across 6 districts of the state. According to the latest Assam State Disaster Management Authority report, Sivasagar, Charaideo, Golaghat, Jorhat, Nagaon and Kamrup Metro continue to remain affected. Charaideo continues to be the worst hit district with over 188,000 people affected, followed by Sivasagar with more than 144,000 people and Jorhat with over 74,000 affected residents. Rescue and relief operations are continuing in the affected districts with the deployment of 179 medical teams and 67 rescue boats. Authorities remain on alert and have urged residents in vulnerable areas to stay cautious and follow official advisories. The flood has also caused widespread damage to infrastructure and livestock. While continuous heavy rainfall since last night has caused a portion of bridge between Prem Nagar and Nanda Ki Chowki on the Dehradun-Paonta Sahib highway in Uttarakhand to collapse. Now, the incident has disrupted traffic movement in the area, with authorities monitoring the situation and working to restore connectivity. The India Meteorological Department has issued an orange alert for heavy to very heavy rain in 9 districts on Tuesday, warning of thunderstorms and intense spell of rain that could trigger widespread disruptions as well. An unfortunate news coming in from Ganderbal district of Jammu and Kashmir. At least 39 pilgrims were injured after a bus carrying pilgrims skidded off the road and plunged into a deep gorge in Gund area of central Kashmir's district. Rescue teams, police, SDRF and local volunteers immediately rushed to the spot and carried out the rescue operation. Meanwhile, police have taken cognizance of the incident and initiated an investigation to ascertain the cause of the accident. Well, the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Manoj Sinha, spoke with Deputy Commissioner Ganderbal and health officials and inquired about the health condition of injured pilgrims. He informed that the pilgrims were returning after Darshan of Baba Barfani and are currently undergoing treatment at Sher Kashmir Institute of Medical Sciences. The LG has directed the health officials to ensure all necessary assistance and the best possible medical care. He also prayed to Lord Shiva for the speedy recovery of the injured devotees. Well, meanwhile, the Amarnath Yatra this year achieved a significant milestone as the total number of pilgrims who reached the South Kashmir cave shrine crossed the 400,000 mark. With the number achieved in just 18 days, the annual pilgrimage is poised to break all previous records in terms of number of devotees, as the Yatra will culminate on the 28th of August. While a total of 414,000 pilgrims performed the Yatra in 2025, the number was 512,000 in 2024. The all-time high turnout of pilgrims was registered in 2011 when 630,000 pilgrims performed the Yatra. Well, the annual Rath Yatra, or chariot festival of Lord Jagannath and his siblings, ended on Monday in a ritual called Niladri Vijay, when the deities returned to the 12th century shrine after spending 12 days outside. The ritual marks the culmination of the annual Rath Yatra, which started on 16th of July when Lord Balbhadra, Devi Subhadra and Lord Jagannath boarded chariots to travel to their birthplace at Sri Gundicha Temple, 2.6 kilometers from the main shrine. Now, lakhs of devotees gathered on the Grand Road near the Lion's Gate of the shrine to witness the festivity. And Bhavnagar's Yajurvi Joshi has brought laurels to Gujarat and India by winning 2 gold medals at the inaugural World Yogasan Championship 2026 in Ahmedabad.
Great champions often come from humble beginnings. For Bhavnagar's Yajurvi Joshi, a passion for yogasan and years of dedication have brought glory to Gujarat and India. At the inaugural World Yogasan Championship 2026 in Ahmedabad, she won 2 gold medals, proving that talent thrives when given the right opportunity.
હજી આગળ કોમનવેલ્થમાં તે યોગાસન સિલેક્ટ થઈ ગયું છે અને 2036માં અમદાવાદમાં યોજાવાવાળી ઓલિમ્પિક સ્પર્ધામાં પણ જવાનો મારો તો ધ્યેય છે.
Yajurvi began her yogasan journey in 2019. Through discipline, relentless practice and determination, she rose steadily through the ranks. 5 gold medals at Khel Mahakumbh, strong national performances and selection to state coaching camps paved the way to the international stage.
તો ખૂબ જ આનંદ થયો કેમ કે એને એટલા વર્ષથી એની એટલી બધી યોગમાં એની સતત એનું પ્રેક્ટિસ કરતી હતી, અમે પણ એને સપોર્ટ કરતા હતા.
Her consistent success earned her a place on the Indian team. At the World Yogasan Championship, Yajurvi claimed gold in the hand balance and traditional group events. Her achievement reflects not just personal excellence, but the strength of family support, dedicated coaching, and a nurturing sports ecosystem.
જે બાળકો રાષ્ટ્રીય કક્ષાએ અને આંતરરાષ્ટ્રીય કક્ષાએ મેડલ મેળવે છે તેમને સરકાર દ્વારા સહાય પણ આપવામાં આવે છે. આંતરરાષ્ટ્રીય કક્ષાએ જે સ્પર્ધાઓમાં ભાગ લે છે તેવા ખેલાડીઓને સરકાર દ્વારા 75,000 રૂપિયાનો સહાય આપવામાં આવે છે અને જે મેડલ મેળવે છે તેમને ખાસ પુરસ્કાર આપીને સન્માનિત કરવામાં આવે છે.
Yajurvi's journey from Bhavnagar to the world podium mirrors Gujarat's growing sporting ambitions. Better infrastructure, quality training, and global exposure are helping young athletes turn their dreams into achievements. Her story is proof that with talent, hard work, and the right support, champions can emerge from anywhere.
And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. Trump optimistic of progress in a peace deal with Iran but warns of resuming strikes if negotiations fail. Sharmila Thankar clinches gold medal while Shilpa Shaila claims bronze medal in the women's para shot put F57 event at Glasgow Commonwealth Games. Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on, in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, thousands of people are marching from Rawalkot to Muzaffarabad after talks between the Joint Awami Action Committee and the authorities failed. The decision to hold the march came as protesters unequivocally denounced indiscriminate firing by Pakistan forces on demonstrators in Rawalkot. Demonstrators are demanding the release of detainees, withdrawal of cases against protesters, and acceptance of their broader demands. The developments coincided with the first phase of Legislative Assembly elections, marred by reports of violence and allegations of poll rigging. Second phase of voting is scheduled to take place on August 2nd, while the polling for third phase is slated for 10th of August. Well, violence has marked the first phase of elections to the Legislative Assembly in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. At least 19 people were killed and several others injured on Monday as clashes broke out between rival supporters. Now, PPP and PMLN have accused each other of poll rigging, while polling was briefly disrupted at multiple stations. Former Prime Minister Imran Khan's PTI boycotted the polls, and the Joint Awami Action Committee has also been banned. Now, India has reiterated that Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh are its union territories under illegal occupation and slammed Pakistan for what it called systemic exploitation and administrative oppression in PoJK. Moving on, US President Donald Trump voiced optimism on Monday that diplomacy with Iran could produce a deal to end the months-long war, but warned that Washington would resume military strikes if negotiations failed. Trump said there's a good chance that something could happen, and if it doesn't, we will go back to doing what we were doing. At a campaign rally in Michigan later on Monday, Trump said Iranian leaders had requested a meeting.
I have a lot of patience. I have plenty of time. Plenty of time. Their whole shoreline's wiped out. The strait is in very good shape. And we're talking right now. You know, they wanted to talk. Their people said, please don't shoot last night, the night before, 2 nights. Don't do it. You know, we're having good talks. So we'll see what happens. I think there's a good chance that something could happen. And if it does, good. If it doesn't, we go back to doing what we were doing 2 days ago.
Well, Trump also dismissed concerns that U.S. ammunition stockpiles were running low nearly 5 months after the war began.
We're going to use Iran's money to pay for the damage they did. In other words, the Iran money that we control will be used to pay for damages. We have plenty. We have a lot of ammunition, different types. You know, Biden gave a lot to Ukraine, and so we're building that up, but we have a lot. We have a lot of the mid-level stuff, too. I mean, more than we could ever use, no matter what. But we have a lot. I'd like to have more, to be honest.
Now, Tehran had earlier denied that there were any talks with the U.S. to end the conflict. Iran's Foreign Ministry spokesman Ismail Baghai said that the messages were still being passed between the sides through mediators, and Iran had not forsaken diplomacy, but requested negotiations were fabricated. Tehran also said it remained in control of the contested Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu arrived in the U.S. on Monday to meet U.S. President Donald Trump for their first face-to-face talks since the start of their conflict with Iran. It will be Netanyahu's 8th meeting with Trump since Trump returned to office and their first since February. The visit is also expected to include a memorial service for the late Senator Lindsey Graham, a longtime supporter of Israel. In an interview on Sunday, Netanyahu said he planned to discuss all pending issues with Trump, including Iran. He also praised Graham as one of Israel's greatest friends and said it was fitting to honor him. Well, Netanyahu also said he intends to travel to New York for United Nations General Assembly. Despite criticism from New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani, he criticized Mamdani, alleging that the mayor was fomenting hate. Netanyahu said he expected to attend the annual UN gathering unless security conditions changed. Netanyahu also warned Iran against any future attacks on Israel, saying Tehran would make a terrible mistake if it struck Israel directly or through proxy groups. And Brazil filed a request on Monday seeking a World Trade Organization consultation over tariffs imposed on several products by the United States. The Brazilian Foreign Ministry, in a statement, said the South American nation submitted a request on July 27th for consultations with the United States within the framework of the WTO dispute settlement system. It further noted that Brazil considers the U.S. measures unjustified and incompatible with international trade rules. A request for consultation with another country is a preliminary step in opening a panel on the case in the WTO framework. Brazil took the same step in 2025, and Washington imposed 50% tariffs in retaliation for the coup-related trial that sent former President Jair Bolsonaro to prison. Now, the U.S. earlier this month put in place new tariffs on several Brazilian products, charging 25% for alleged unfair trade practices and 12.5% for alleged use of forced labor. Also, the United States unveiled a new rule referring certain asylum seekers directly to courts without interviews with officials of the immigration services. Now, the new rule, which comes into immediate effect on Tuesday, is aimed at reducing the time required to process the backlog of 1.4 million asylum petitions with the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. The change applies to affirmative asylum claims which are filed by immigrants who are not in removal proceedings. Defensive asylum claims, in contrast, are raised before an immigration judge after the government has initiated removal proceedings. Under the interim final rule, USCIS can now refer asylum applications to immigration judges without first interviewing the applicant. This rule will shorten the total time that it takes asylum officers and immigration judges to adjudicate asylum applications. More than 132,000 cases a year could get transferred from USCIS to the immigration courts under the change. And some global weather updates now. French firefighters continued to battle wildfires in the country's southwest on Monday, as many hoped favorable weather conditions could ease the blazes that have scorched through more than 40,000 hectares of land. About 220,000 people have been evacuated due to the wildfires, the blazes threatening the city of Bordeaux as people are scared as wildfire burns close to the city. Train services continue to face major disruptions. The return of searing temperatures from Tuesday threatened to complicate firefighting efforts even further. Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron thanked firefighters in Bordeaux for their efforts and warned that the wildfire crisis would remain challenging in the coming weeks. Macron described the wildfires as France's toughest crisis since World War II and pledged government support. Well, the fire evacuees praised volunteers for helping protect their pets and offering essential assistance, including free veterinary services and medication for animals displaced by the evacuation. Also, a wildfire in eastern Spain's Castellon province has burned about 8,500 hectares and forced the evacuation of 16,000 people. The spread of the large fires converging in central Spain had slowed overnight, but the blaze in the Castellon province reached out of control as the weather agency warned of another potential heat wave this week. And on to some sports news now. Sharmila Dhankar scripted history by becoming India's first Commonwealth Games para-athletics gold medalist. Sharmila Dhankar won the gold medal, while Shilpa Shaila claimed the bronze medal in the women para-shot put F57 event. Sharmila delivered a landmark performance with a season best effort of 9.81 meters. Her triumph ended India's 20-year wait for a para-athletics medal at the Games. The last para-athletics medal in Commonwealth Games was won by Ranjit Kumar Jaiseelan in the men's seated discus throw event in the 2006 edition. Well, the national record holder Sarvesh Kushare created history by becoming the first Indian to win a silver medal in the men's high jump at the Games. The 31-year-old cleared 2.25 meter before narrowly missing out on the gold. Kushare improved upon the bronze won by Tejaswin Shankar in Birmingham 4 years ago. Well, weightlifting continued to be India's richest source of medals as 21-year-old Valluri Ajaya Babu clinched silver in the men's 79 kg category. The lifter narrowly missing the gold by a kilogram after Malaysia's Eri Hidayat Mohammed finished with a Games record total of 331 kg. India's medal tally has reached 10, including 2 gold, 5 silver and 3 bronze. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended his best wishes to Sharmila Dhankar after she became India's first Commonwealth Games para-athletic gold medalist. Prime Minister Modi posted on X, and I quote, "History is being created in Glasgow. Congratulations to Sharmila for a very special gold in the women's shot put F57 event and also for a season best throw. This remarkable performance ends a 2-decade-long wait for a para-athletic gold at the Commonwealth Games. My best wishes for the endeavours ahead," unquote. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from All for Sair in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.